Hey everybody, welcome to this week's coffee chat. You have me and only me today. So grab yourself a beverage and let's talk. Let's chat. We're going to be talking again this week about the Bible study, Courageous Influence, that we've been working on. And I have a confession, guys. I'm behind. I have not been feeling well, and I found myself trying to hurry up and get through it just so that I could say that I had finished a day. And this is just like a disclaimer. I was thinking, how can I instigate a Bible study, promote a Bible study, tell everybody to do this Bible study, and then miss the Bible study? And I just heard the Lord say, Laura, this is life. This is the season that we're in. The kids are home. Life is busy. I haven't felt well for several weeks now, and it is okay. It is better for me to take one verse, one question, one small short story, and apply it to my life, get something out of it, than to just cruise through, 3 or 4 or 5 pages just to say that I did it and not even remember what I read. So if that is you, if you feel me on that one, if you're behind, if you're like, I'm on day 2, that is okay. What I decided to do is just take it, as many days as I needed to get through one entry. And so, that's kind of what I've done. So there's my confession of the day. And maybe if you were feeling you're off the hook now. But anyways, we're on week 3, or at least I am. And this is from day 2 that I wanted to share. Because I can so relate to the story that this woman shares. And I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I'm going to read an excerpt and share something funny. She says, call it a tick or a nervous habit that I picked up somewhere along the way, but whatever it was, I could not seem to stop doing it. I was told it was distracting, and pretty soon it distracted me to the point of disqualifying myself. I told myself good communicators don't blink like there's a bug in their eyes every time they speak. That is so good, because we're continuing on with discussing how we disqualify ourselves because we're so caught up in the thing that we feel is holding us back. And she goes on to say, sometimes the smallest things reveal our biggest barriers. So this woman by the name of Tasha June had a call to speak to people and to do public speaking, but she blinked. I was about to say she blunked. She blunked when she would get nervous, and it became so distracting. And then, if you have something that happens to you and then you become aware of it, it's like it makes you do it even more because you're now aware of it, which makes you nervous. And I have a similar situation. If you know me well, you probably already know this, but if you don't know, I am a sweater. I was a cheerleader in middle school and part of high school, and I was like the only cheerleader that didn't look cute when I cheered, because no matter how much hairspray I put on my hair, or how much deodorant I wore, by the end of the pep rally, by the end of the game, my hair was soaking wet, stuck to my face. I had sweat dripping down every part of my body, my legs even. And it became something that I was really worried about, because I'd look around and compare myself to all these other girls that were doing the same thing that I was, and they're not sweating, but here I am. And so this is something I've dealt with my whole life. Obviously I think anxiety brings it on a little bit, or just kind of getting keyed up about something, but it's not just hormones. It's not just menopause or getting older, weight gain, whatever. It is just something that happens to me. Even when I do work out, I think I sweat a lot more than some people would when they're working out. So maybe it's a good thing. Maybe I burn more calories, but the moral of the story is I'm aware of it. And when I start sweating like that, I then get nervous that I am sweating. So then I sweat more. And, that's what I was thinking of when I'm reading her story about the blinking. And then the more she is aware of it, the more she's blinking. She said, my insecurity wasn't really about the blinking. It was about who I believed I needed to be, who I needed to look like and sound like. And that is so true. It's just like me with the cheerleaders. I looked around and I'm like, they, don't have this going on, but I do, and I should look like them because that's what a cheerleader looks like, and this woman's looking around at people who are public speaking and thinking, well, they're not blinking, they're not clearing their throat or whatever the case, they're not moving their hands. I talk with my hands all the time, but we just can't do that. We can't compare ourselves to others. And she says, while it's good to learn from others, it's important that we not assimilate every aspect of ourselves to be like them. And I thought that was a really important point, because I do listen to a lot of podcasts. I do a lot of online courses, and I've basically learned a lot just from watching other people. But it's so important when we watch other people to still be ourselves. We can say, well, this is how, they handle it, so I should handle it in a similar way, or this is how they advise to deal with this situation, so I'm going to apply, this to my life. But we don't have to act exactly like somebody else. And we just need to be ourselves no matter what, because that's going to be the best version. And I love how she relates this to the life of Christ. And I'm going to read this other excerpt. It says, I thought about the way Jesus' very being and presence arrived in an unusual and unexpected way throughout his ministry. Instead of being described as handsome or popular, he was called lowly and unmemorable in his appearance. Though he had access to all the power in the universe, he was known to be gentle, and he often went away to rest and pray. And this is the part that just jumped off the page at me. There's no mention of charisma or charm, or whether he used his hands well when he spoke. Maybe that's because such things shouldn't matter to us as much as we let them. How true is that? That is like a mic drop moment, because we think that if somebody holds a microphone, or if somebody has a job, if they have influence, if they are someone that we look up to, that they have all the answers and they have all these attributes that we don't have. But, nowhere in the Bible does it talk about Jesus, having some of these things that I think we think we're supposed to have. Did he have authority when he spoke? Well, yeah, we know that he did. But was he so well spoken? I don't know. It's never even talked about. We think of him and we think, well, he was perfect, so, he did it perfectly. But what is perfect? We were not created to be perfect. And I think that we would save ourselves a lot of grief if we would just accept that. And so at the end, she says, the next time I was asked to speak, I said yes. Months later, after practicing my notes and working on my eye expression, I noticed my blinking while on stage. I paused, and then I kept speaking, remembering that what makes me me is exactly what God wants to use. And I think that my best advice in a situation like this is just to go ahead and lay it on the table, and I think in some situations people would think, oh, well, that's kind of crass, but I just go ahead and lay it out there. I usually make a joke of whatever it is that I'm self-conscious about up front, and let's just lay it on the table. And then I don't feel like I'm hiding it, and people can analyze that however they want to. But for me, it makes me more comfortable, because I'm like, okay, now that I might be pitting out and have wet armpits. And so if you see it, I'm not going to worry about it. We're just going to move on. And I think that being real like that makes you relatable to people. And, if somebody is going to learn from you, or if somebody is going to watch you and look up to you, whether it's your kids or somebody you're volunteering with, or whatever the case may be, a customer, they want to be able to relate to you. I think it makes us more likable. It makes us just more human-like. And, who wants to take advice from someone who's never had a problem and who is always perfect? Usually that makes us feel even more self-conscious. But if somebody can get up there and say, I have a problem that's similar to yours, and we're all just going to laugh about it and be okay with it, well, then it makes me feel more comfortable about whatever insecurities I have. And so that's my tidbit of the day, that if you have an insecurity, let's just go ahead and lay it on the table and laugh about it, put it out there for people, and get past it. There is a portion read from 1 Samuel 17, and we meet David, who wants to fight Goliath. And in this portion, King Saul agrees to let David fight him, but he wants to outfit David in his own armor and sword, because he believes that's what he needs, but it doesn't fit. It's too big. It's not right. And he can't do it the way that he needs to do it. And, you know, out of fear or intimidation, sometimes we try to put on another person's ways. We try to, you know, assimilate the way someone's doing something, but it's not us. And, you know, I think that just makes us even more self-conscious as we try to be like someone else. I mean, I've done it. I've done it when I do a video, or, you know, when I have to do some kind of speaking and I think, okay, this is how it should be done. This is how, you know, I watch videos and I see things. And usually when I try to do that stuff, it seems so robotic. But if I can just put all that aside and just be me, it's so much easier to watch. It's so much easier to listen to. I'm gonna leave you with one question for you to meditate on, and it is this. In what ways have you disqualified yourself because you thought you needed to be like someone else to have influence? And I think that you should definitely read 1 Samuel 17 and answer that question. I hope you guys have a great day and you'll join me again next week for our coffee chat.